Well, I didn't think I'd be making a video like this, but I'd say I need it's something that I need to do. So I think most people have seen the news that the original head of Team Ninja, the Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden creator, Tomonobu Itagaki, had passed away. I saw this yesterday, like on Wednesday, no, sorry, Thursday, immediately, like at 3 a.m. I'm in the middle of my shift and everything at work, and it's like everything just comes crashing down. Like my mental state, my emotional state, everything. Like I feel like I went into immediate shock, like just hearing that information. And I'm saying that because Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive have been two of the biggest like pieces of like media, like in general, like any kind of media, movies, games, anime. Two of the biggest like influences of my life, and I'm like 28 now, but I've been playing these games since I've been like a child. Because my brothers had the original Xbox when it came out, and one of the games I remember very vividly was Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate, which came out in about 2004. I believe it was 2004 or 2005. Don't quote me, but my brothers would have played Dead or Alive 2 all of the time, and I always thought the game looked really cool. And then eventually, I got to play, and I instantly fell in love with the Dead or Alive games, and I just thought, like, man, DOA is so cool. And DOA is also how I discovered, like, my favorite character, Ryu Hayabusa, and also Ayane. And Ayane is my number one waifu, probably for life, at least in terms of fighting game characters, or action game characters. Ayane was always my first crush, I think. She's probably my favorite my favorite character. Really looking forward to that new figure that comes out, but we're not talking about that right now. But, and then, later in life, I'd say like maybe 2014, judging by my Xbox 360 achievements, I played Ninja Gaiden 2. I beat Ninja Gaiden 2 for the Xbox 360, and yes, I only beat it on Warrior difficulty initially, but beating that game felt like a life achievement because the game at that time felt so impossibly difficult and challenging that I could never overcome this. I could never beat this, but eventually I did on a really fucking crappy TV where the screen got all fucked up, so like we could only see like half of the like the display on the monitor. But I beat Ninja Gaiden 2, and I felt like, man, I could take on like any game. And then, later on, I played Ninja Gaiden Black, and then I replayed, I think, parts of Ninja Gaiden 2. And I'm still currently playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on Xbox 360 because Ninja Gaiden 2 Black I finally got it on PS5. So I'm playing like the Sigma 2 remaster and vanilla Ninja Gaiden 2 side by side, just to see like what the differences are. Man, I still like Ninja Gaiden 2 way more, like original. But yeah, let me talk about how I feel personally. So to me, Dead or Alive has always been my favorite fighting game of all time, like even more than like Super Smash Brothers or like Melty Blood or anything else. Like Dead or Alive has been there with me like my whole life. So to me, I've always been a 3D fighting game person. Like my two favorite fighting game series that are 3D are Dead or Alive and Soul Calibur. Dead or Alive, like I played every Dead or Alive game basically. Like even DOA Online for the fucking PC. Like I played DOA Online. Like if you've seen my channel, you know that the first video you see when you click on my channel that pops up is my Dead or Alive Azuna Drop video. Like that's how much of a DOA fan I am. Like I've played like every fucking DOA game extensively and have done Azuna drops in like every Dead or Alive game. Except like maybe the Vita one version of 5, but whatever, I never got that one. But words can't really express how I feel in terms of how sad I am and how like overwhelmed I am with like both sadness and some positivity, where it's like I deeply appreciate everything that he's done for the industry, like creating some of the coolest fighting games ever and creating what's possibly the greatest action game of all time, Ninja Gaiden 2 for the Xbox 360, and Ninja Gaiden Black for the Xbox. Like, he created two masterpieces that I think will stand the test of time. Like, DOA4 is a game that came out in 2005. Like, in December, it turns 20 years old, and that game still is doing stuff that hasn't been done now, or now games are catching up to it. Like, if you've seen Tekken 8, Tekken 8 is basically copying Dead or Alive at this point. Like, with all the crazy stage interactions and like all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, DOA was doing that like right after Virtua Fighter 3 came out. And Virtua Fighter 3 kind of dropped all of that stuff in order to stay in its, very rigid but very sound structure, where it's like, no, we're just going to focus on ring outs and flat stages with walls and stuff. But then Dead or Alive is like, no, we're having all these crazy dynamic stages. You're dropping people like through the floor. They're breaking, crashing them into a wall, knocking them into cars and shit, making them fall off like 1,000-foot tall like cliffs and shit, and then they're getting up just fine. It's like, yeah, like DOA was just doing all this crazy stuff, and then like the clothing physics. If you've seen Dead or Alive 4, it has really dynamic clothing physics. Like in the rooftop level in the like Duotech Tower, like, oh man, that level's so cool in tag matches and in general, because the wind is blowing and you see all the characters' hair blowing in the wind, and it's so cool looking and dynamic. And then the clothes, like Hayabusa's, if you use his DOA2 outfit, you can see like his poofy pants kind of like fluttering in the wind, like flowing in the wind. It's so fucking cool. And I feel like in Dead or Alive 5, like, that's not really there. Like, if you compare like the war zone level, the hot zone from like Dead or Alive 5, which does have a lot of wind and all that stuff, and then you compare it to like this DOA4 stage, it's like night and day. Like, Itagaki was just doing crazy shit because he felt like it. Oh, and if you played like Dead or Alive 3, like oh man, the Lost World stage is amazing. Like, it looks so great. Like, in the background is like this huge ass plain of mountains and like trees and shit. It's like, whoa, how the hell did they make this in 2001? like this was like right after the Dreamcast like it was about to like close its doors and everything. Like, after Sega was about to drop out of the console business, and then like DOA like fucking 3 comes out, and it's like, what the hell? But I guess I can talk about some of my favorite memories of DOA, or just some of my favorite things in general. Like, the DOA2, I'll always remember that fucking stage with the bridge, which they kind of have a similar one in DOA4, but like, it's always so satisfying to just fucking do an Azuna drop like from the top of the stage. Hayabusa just fucking throws them in the air and they just fall, bam, and it's like, man, Itagaki, that's so cool, man. It's so cool. And of course, Dead or Alive 4 has that awesome stage with the casino where you're fighting in the street, and they have like the little fences in between with the electronic sign that says like welcome to it says congrats on the Xbox 360 launch, because it came out like a month or a few weeks after the original launch, because it kind of missed the release, the initial release date, so they had to push it to December. But it's like, dude, you could knock people into cars, into like the little fences. You could flip over them and then hit them. It's like, oh man, I don't know. There's not much. I feel like there's not much I can say. Like, there's just, these games just mean so much to me. I'm gonna see if I can try and gather my thoughts. Okay, so to me, Itagaki, I think, will always be my #1 game creator. Second is Tetsuya Takahashi, the creator of Xenoblade. Like, these three things are like my soul. Like, they're in my soul, I think, in my heart and my soul. Dead or Alive, like, super fast gameplay, beautiful girls, beautiful gameplay, great environments, interactive stages, and all these like uneven terrain and all this cool stuff, knocking people off of skyscrapers and shit. Like, oh my god. Like, without Itagaki, I probably wouldn't have become such a huge fan of Ryu Hayabusa, and I probably wouldn't even have that video of me doing all of the Azuna drops, as many Azuna drops as possible in like every Dead or Alive game. Like, that's how much of a fan I am. Like, I did that because of how much I care as a fan. And I don't post enough I feel like about DOA and about Ninja Gaiden because, well, you know, I do like toy and figure related stuff now, so I don't really do game stuff, but I feel like DOA and Ninja Gaiden have to be that exception where it's like, no, 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 I need to show you how much I care about these two franchises. I just want to say that I've had so many great memories playing the Dead or Alive games. Like, I know Itagaki didn't work on this one specifically, but DOA Dimensions, like, that game was like super fucking addictive to me. Like, I had a 3DS basically like the last day before they dropped the price because I really wanted those fucking NES games and those Game Boy Advance games, but that I didn't really play. But I remember I got Dead or Alive Dimensions as like my first like actual 3DS game, and man, that game was amazing. It felt like playing Dead or Alive 4 on a fucking handheld. I don't even know how like modern Team Ninja was able to pull that off. Like Itagaki wasn't even on that game, but like they still managed to pull off something crazy. Okay, so to me, Itagaki has always been the most underrated video game creator. Hideki Kamiya, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Beautiful Joe, Okami, Wonderful 101, shout out to Wonderful 101. Great guy, love his games. But, I don't know, Itagaki's always been there. Itagaki's always been number one. Like, Ninja Gaiden was like one of the OG, like, hard games, like balls to the wall hard game. Like Ninja Gaiden 2004 and Ninja Gaiden Black, I think are like is one of the hardest video games of all time. But it's not because the game is like bullshit. Like yeah, there's some bullshit elements in Ninja Gaiden, but the thing is that the game teaches you, like genuinely helps you get good. Because you're fighting enemies that you're seeing like, oh, if I block, they're gonna start grabbing me. If I only if I focus too much on one enemy, the other guy, you know, is getting ready to attack, and I have to try and hit him before the other guy. I have to try and finish off this guy or throw him away or something to stop the other enemy from hitting me. And then, you know, like the mage guys are in the background fucking casting magic, and you have to try and interrupt them so that they can't fucking make fire come out of the fucking floor and shit. And of course, like, those dudes throwing exploding fucking kunais at you, I hate those guys. Like, you have to take those guys out first. Like, it teaches you to prioritize, like, enemies, like which ones to take out first, who is the most annoying, who is the most dangerous, and what's the most efficient way of doing so. I've always felt that Ninja Gaiden has had like that, like beat 'em up type of mentality, like Streets of Rage or Final Fight, where it's like, okay, you know, certain this enemy are a problem, and you need to take them out quickly. Like, if you see the fucking knife dude in Streets of Rage 2 walking across the screen, don't get hit by him. Please take out that guy. That's like seeing the fucking rocket launcher dudes in Ninja Gaiden 2. Like, no, 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 you should probably take that guy out first. So, yeah, there's that. And of course, like, the way combat is designed has always been kind of like a fighting game because, you know, Itagaki made Dead or Alive. And like you can counterattack, you can throw enemies, you can jump off of them, you can do jump attacks and stuff. You have like super moves basically with the ultimate techniques, and then you have like not a command grab, but like a hit grab sort of thing with like the obliteration techniques, like where you can finish them off and you get iframes so that the enemies, if they put bombs on you, they can't, if they blow up, you don't take any damage. So I've always thought that was really fucking cool. And then, and Ninja Gaiden Black had an amazing approach to difficulty in my mind, where instead of just artificially making the enemies stronger or having more health, they would put in like making them do more damage or making them have more HP, which is how Sigma 2 does it. I don't like that. But Ninja Gaiden Black made it so that when you played on a higher difficulty, you would face like stronger versions of previously established enemies. So instead of fighting like the brown ninjas in the beginning of chapter 1, you would fight like the white ninjas or like the red ones. Like the red ones are like using fucking fire. Or like the purple ones would fucking throw windmill shurikens at you, and it's like, what the fuck? And then they have like different attack patterns and like different behavior. Like they'll be more aggressive, they'll like jump in and do spin attacks and shit. They'll try to interrupt you more often, and it's like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. These guys are getting a little too smart. And of course, you know, the boss battles get more difficult because not only are you fighting the boss, who are probably doing more damage or whatever. You gotta fight his fucking goons. You gotta beat up like you gotta kill the other like backup ninja that he got with him. And I'm like, hey, this is supposed to be a 1v1 fight. What the hell? No, but Ninja Gaiden's always been hard because like yeah, the enemy encounters are tough. You have to know what you're doing. You have to learn the strings, learn the techniques like the reverse wind, counterattacks, guillotine throws, landing UTs, doing regular ultimate techniques and everything. But also because the game is smart. And also the game has a lot of troll like type elements. Like have you ever opened a fucking treasure chest and then the ghost fish just eat you alive? It's like what the hell, Itagaki? What the fuck? Like, what was it? There was a story, I forget the source, but there was like a thing I read where Itagaki was asking one of the designers like, hey, what's up with the ghost fish? He's like, oh yeah, I thought like this area would be pretty cool to have like ghost fish or whatever, you know, just as like a cool background element. He's like, it's wasting space on the fucking disc, or it's wasting like memory on the Xbox. Like either take that shit out or turn it into an enemy. He's like, okay, boss, okay. And then he turned him into the fucking ghost fish. And I'm like, dude, the ghost fish were the most annoying enemy in the history of Ninja Gaiden. Even more so than the fucking rocket launcher, dude. It's like, Itagaki, you troll. Well, of course, you can just spam the jump attack or use the Vigorian flails, but it's like, oh man, dude, like, what the hell? Some more memories, some more things I like about Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I've always liked how the weapons worked. Like, yeah, there's no real-time weapon switching like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, but I've always kind of appreciated that it didn't, because it kind of forced you to learn the ins and outs of every weapon and how they worked and what their weaknesses were. So instead of just willy-nilly switching between like Dante's like Rebellion and then whipping out like the Cerberus nunchucks and shit and then just going hog wild, it's like no, we're gonna take our time and learn how the dragon sword works, how the lunar staff works, and of course the fucking nunchucks and the flails. Like, oh man, I love the Vigorian flail and the lunar staff. Those are my favorite weapons. So yeah, even though like that wasn't really a thing, you know, that people didn't like not being able to switch weapons, I've always felt that it was awesome, and I understood the deliberate choice Itagaki made with that. But the other thing that I've always thought was great was, which adds to the difficulty discussion, is the doppelgangers. The doppelgangers are like some of the most deadliest enemies I've ever faced in a game, where like it's basically just like if you're fighting yourself, because they have the same moves as Hayabusa, they have the same weapons, and they can do the same techniques, and it's like, what the fuck, I'm fighting myself. It's like now you just turned it into an actual fighting game. So if the enemy doppelganger has the incendiary shuriken / exploding kunai, they can throw it at you, and you can blow up, and then they can just fucking go for a flying swallow and then combo you into an Azuna drop. And I'm like, what the like, what the fuck? Oh, you can do the same thing I can do? That's bullshit. I'm like, wait a minute, that's what I'm doing to him. That's what I'm doing to all the enemies. They're all getting a Azuna drop. I'm like, damn, that's how it feels to get, like, to have all that brutality done to me? It's like, shit, dude. Oh man, but I remember, like, how tough, like, the first fight with Murai was always, like, I feel like gatekeeping. I feel like it was, like, a challenge. Where, like, if you couldn't beat Murai on normal difficulty, nah, you ain't good, you ain't cut out for this game. You're not cut out for this game. And then, like, Doku, I almost felt like, and Alma, Doku and Alma, I always felt like were like, okay, if you give up on these guys, like, just walk away. Like, no, you're not worthy enough, I think, for these games. Like, Doku, you know, had, like, that stupid move where he would, like, stab his sword into the fucking floor and create, like, those waves, like, those, like, waves that would hit you. You have to jump over them. And he had, like, that grab, and, like, and since his sword was, like, Kitetsu, like, he could basically, like, kind of use it like a boomerang and shit and hit you. I always thought that was annoying. And then, Alma, oh my god, Alma's a fucking nightmare. At least in Sigma, she's more of a nightmare because, like, she would block the flying swallow. In the original game, you kind of could get away with doing it, so that you could actually like knock her down, so you could actually hit her, which I always thought was good. But man, she's always throwing those fucking like pillars and shit at you, and then summoning little minions and stuff like those imps. But yeah, I remember I beat Ninja Gaiden Black a couple of years ago, and I wrote all about it like on my blog that I used to write stuff for. And I still think it holds up extremely well. It's mechanically deep, has a good story, for as simple as it is. Hayabusa has always been my favorite character, so I just automatically think he's awesome, and he's a very stoic and very serious character. He's always been like my favorite video game character. That's why I still need to review that figure. But it's taking time. I was gonna try and do it this week, but this news broke, so it's like, no. I don't wanna take time, you know, I wanna delay that so that I can do what I want. Because I was gonna get it out by the time Ninja Gaiden 4 came out, but not now. And then, man, like, overall great game, Ninja Gaiden 4. Oh, and I love the challenges, like the ninja trials, like, it's a great way to just pick up and play and kind of like hone your skills. Some of the enemy fucking layouts are kind of fucked up though. Like you gotta fight some regular ass like ninjas that are like slashing you and jumping at you while fighting those like demonic like dinosaur looking things that spit fire. And I'm like, dude, what the? And you're fighting like in lava and shit. I'm like, what the? Well, Itagaki, how good do you expect me to be at this game? You want me to really be a master ninja? Okay. Okay, and then Ninja Gaiden 2. I still think Ninja Gaiden 2 is the greatest video game of all time and like the greatest action game of all time. Difficulty, discipline, and skill. If you can beat Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja without like just outright cheesing the fucking game with all these annoying like cheap strats, like by actually playing the game and, you know, engaging with enemies and stuff, you're a god. You're a god. You can play the most difficult game of all time and clear it. Like people who can clear Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja, like you have my utmost respect. Like that's something I hope to achieve one day. But let me talk about some of my favorite things in Ninja Gaiden 2, since, you know, I'm talking about Itagaki. I love the dismemberment system. I always thought it was so cool that like you could damage the enemies and you could make them lose their arms, legs, and then like you could finish them off. And you could use the invincibility frames from the obliteration techniques animation to bypass like exploding kunai or, you know, mage attacks or, you know, any kind of attack that would normally hit you. The invincibility on the obliteration techniques would always just make it so that you couldn't get hit. So it was a very strategic thing. You could make it so that you could delimb multiple enemies. And then if another enemy was trying to throw something at you or someone tried to go for a sneak attack, you could finish off the other enemy and then you could be invincible. I always thought that was so clever. Like the gore isn't just there for show. It was there because it was part of the mechanical depth of the game. And my favorite weapon, the lunar staff, came back in that game, and it was so fucking awesome. Like it's so great in that game. I love using that weapon. Like whenever I have to fight like huge hordes of enemies, which is I guess like 95% of the time in that game. You know, if you're fighting like a whole horde of enemies, I'm using the fucking lunar staff. Like yeah, I can use the eclipse scythe, but like no, I'm using the lunar staff. Oh, and then the fucking tonfas. I love the tonfas. Fucking Hayabusa is grabbing a fucking nightstick, a baton, and just beating the shit out of his enemies, going like, oh my god, just ripping them to shreds, like just beating their ass, like oh my god, like this weapon is brutal. And it has like the death drop where he flips them and then bam, like crashes them into the floor, like oh my god, dude, such a great weapon, like those two weapons right there. Oh, and I'm not even getting to the discussion of the fucking Falcon's Talons. Falcon's Talons, oh my god, dude. Like, in the original Ninja Gaiden 2, I always felt that weapon was amazing. In Sigma and in Ninja Gaiden 3, like, I feel like it kind of sucks. Just because the enemies are so defensive and have so much fucking health, so it doesn't, like, rip into them as much as it should. But, like, in the original NG2, the fucking Falcon's Talons, like man, like those would just annihilate enemies. Like any like normal sized enemy, you could do the forward XX, like so you can go. You would just like rip past them, and it's like, oh my god, Jesus, like damn, that shit was crazy. I always thought that was awesome. And then of course the eclipse scythe, the iconic eclipse scythe, like that's on the cover of the game, like Man, that weapon was huge. It was like overpowered. It was cheesy because you could spam the ultimate technique. But man, that weapon would just like he would do flips and jumps and shit, and then just rip enemies' heads off, or have it grow so far through their body he would just rip them in half. And it's like, oh my god, damn. But hold on, let me talk about the enemies. Like, this game is so awesome. Like, way better than Sigma and 2 Black, because like, dude, like, one, the enemies die faster, so that's always a good thing. And then, like, the enemies, there's so many of them. You gotta fight like 10 dudes in one area, in one hallway, and you have to survive. Like, there was an old description from IGN's original Ninja Gaiden 3 vanilla review, which is like the one good thing I think came from that game, which is this description. Which is like, Ninja Gaiden is about getting into a room of enemies and barely making it to the next room, and then having to do it all again, over again. And it's like, yeah, like, you just fought 10 enemies and you ripped them to shreds. And you've barely survived because like they tried to get the upper hand on you. So you have like half health. Now you turn the corner, walk down the hall, and then fucking like 20 or like whatever many enemies show up. You got all these dudes trying to bum rush you from the front. You got dudes in the back shooting fucking rocket launchers, and then you have dudes fucking throwing exploding kunai at you. All while there's like ninja mages and shit fucking casting spells, doing some bullshit ass like Buddhist chants and shit, throwing fire at you, and it's like, what the? And then after you beat all those guys, fucking giant demon dragon things fucking come attack you. They start shooting fireballs and shit. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? there's no room to breathe. Like, damn. Like, oh my god, that game is so exhilarating. Just because like everything feels like a rush. Like you're fighting for your fucking life in that game. Oh my god, Ninja Gaiden 2 is such a rush. Like, and let me see. I hate some of the boss battles are kind of fucking bullshit, but I've always loved the trial and error aspect of it. That's where that beat 'em up and arcade mentality comes from that I mentioned, like Streets of Rage, where it's like, yeah, you can keep dying over and over. Like, yeah, Ninja Gaiden, you will die a million times, but as long as you keep getting back up, you progressively make more and more improvements as you go on. Like, you make small little increments of improvements. It's like, okay, this time, don't get grabbed by that move, or don't fall for that trick. Don't worry about those small enemies that are, like, in the way. Focus on the boss, focus on learning the attack patterns, everything. Like, this game teaches you so many things without having to tell you. Like, yeah, obviously it tells you how to do the Ninpo and stuff, because you kind of need to know the buttons to do that, but it's a game that teaches you, like, its rules just by showing you. Which I've always felt was one of the most important things a video game can do. Like, it's a show don't tell type of medium. Like, you have to just do the things that they want you to do, and you learn through repetition and through trial and error. So I've always thought that was great, and Itagaki has always been great at doing that. Like, that's why I've always liked in Dead or Alive, they have like the command training, like the command exercise where you have to practice all of the inputs. And it's like, okay, here's this string, press like PP forward, KKK, PK, whatever. Yeah, like you have to do something like that, and it's like, oh man, I couldn't do it. And then you try it again, it's like, oh, okay, so that's how that works. And it kind of got expanded in like Dead or Alive 5 and in 6, where they had combo trials, which other fighting games had. So it's like, no, you failed, do it again. Learn the game. It's like bashing into your head, like, no, you gotta learn the mechanics, you gotta learn the functions of the game. Like, every time you died in Ninja Gaiden, there was a lesson to be learned there. And it's either, okay, this game's bullshit, or it's like, okay, I acted really stupid, or, man, the enemy caught me from behind and I didn't know what to do. It's like, okay, you gotta be prepared for, you gotta always expect the unexpected in that game. And I've really loved the alternate costumes in the Ninja Gaiden games, like the Ninja of the Future outfit in NG 2004. That outfit is awesome. The Dragon Muscle suit, aka like the Doppelganger outfit, was always so awesome. I love that like it kept coming back in multiple Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden games, like NG3, Razor's Edge. All the DOA games had them, starting from DOA2 Ultimate, and then yeah, it was pretty much in everything. I always thought it was super cool. And then in Ninja Gaiden 2 for the Xbox 360, they had like the Shadow Walker, the Biometal, the fucking Fiend costume. Oh my god, the Fiend costume was my favorite. That one was always sick, because now he's like infected with like the demon like fiend DNA or some shit, and it's like ripping the costume into pieces. It's like, oh, it looks so badass. Oh, and I didn't get to talk about the Kusarigama. Oh my god, the Kusarigama, it's a bit of a tricky weapon to use, and it's a little slow, but like it's still like the coolest weapon because it would force the enemy near you. Like it would pull them in and then do like a command grab type thing where it would just rip their legs off and shit. And then you could use that to finish off with an obliteration techniques. And it also had like that huge ass range with the ultimate technique where he's swinging the sickle like all over the place and then it's swinging wildly and then everyone just fucking dies. And it's like, yeah, this weapon fucking rocks, dude. Let me see. And then, of course, so Itagaki, after he made Dead or Alive and he made the 3D Ninja Gaiden games, and he made his magnum opus, which is Ninja Gaiden 2, he ended up leaving in an ugly breakup with Tecmo over, like, payment disputes and not getting bonuses and stuff. But then it kind of sucked because, the director was gone, the head ninja was gone. And then we got, like, DOA Dimensions, which was good, and then Dead or Alive 5, which started off alright, and then became a great game. Especially, like, now, like, if you have all the content in the game, like, on PC or everything, like, you have an amazing game. Like, you can play that game for hours. But then, Ninja Gaiden 3 Vanilla came out, and I'm like, what the fuck happened here? Like, this is not Ninja Gaiden. Like, you guys fucked this up so bad. And then and you can tell that Itagaki's influence is still there, especially at that time, because when they made Razor's Edge, they zeroed in on making enemies more aggressive and making the game more difficult. Not exactly in the way Itagaki would have done it, where the enemies don't fucking block everything and fucking dodge everything, but it's like, no. Like, this is a game that was a huge improvement, and if they could have just made a new game right after that, with all of those same principles, but got it right the first time, would a Ninja Gaiden 4 made like a decade ago probably would have been very good, but now we're in our current situation. Okay, but I don't know if I talked about Dead or Alive enough. Like, Dead or Alive, let me see. My favorite old school DOA game is DOA4. I've always felt that DOA4 was like the pinnacle of the series. Like, competitively, it's kind of a mess because of some of the system mechanics, but some of the stages in that game were great. Like, the classic, like, Kyoto in Bloom stage where like the big bridge and the sakura trees, you can knock enemies over the bridge, you could fight like in the water and stuff, and I always thought that was so cool. And there's like these little fences that there's other parts of the level that you could fight in, so just like little like sections of the level that you could either start to fight in or you could like transition to fight into, which I've always thought was amazing. And then of course the Nassau Station from Halo 2, which I've already made an entire video of, just out of deep passion for Dead or Alive. Like, Itagaki, come on. Like, I love that stage, and I love that Itagaki was so cool and wanted to put a Halo character in Dead or Alive, even if maybe it didn't make sense, but it was just so cool. But we didn't get Master Chief, but they compromised, made an original character, basically, if you want the short version. But, like, if you fought in the casino stage, like, a warthog would randomly pop up and you could, like, knock the enemy into it, and I always thought that was so sick. And then, you can just, and then in DOA4, you could do the Azuna drop instead of off the bridge, you can make it go through the bridge. And I'm like, what the oh shit! Like, the bridge would just break and you would see all the little pieces of wood fall through it. It's like, wow, that's awesome. And then, let me see. Oh, and then tag mode. Oh man, I loved all of the tag animations. Like, they put so much work into that. Like Hayabusa has like cool tag throws with Kasumi, Ayane, and Hayate. Brad and some other characters have some cool stuff. I've always liked the one with Hayabusa and Genfu. They kind of just throw the enemy in the air and they just bow in respect. Like, okay, not sure why they just did that, but. And then, I don't know, I love that in the old DOA games, they basically kept around all of the characters, with the exception of, like, Bayman in, like, DOA 3 at first. So, because, he was kind of gone temporarily and then came back. No, he came back in DOA3, but he was kind of gone in DOA2 until you played like the later revisions. But it's similar to Virtua Fighter, where they kind of just kept everybody around, but VF never really expanded its roster to the point where they could have a rotating cast. DOA basically like tried to keep everybody. Like Ain is not even part of the fucking plot anymore because he got his memory back and became Hayate again. But like they still let him be the cool karate man every once in a while because his moveset is sick and he's so cool. Like why would you not want to play as a cool karate man? Oh, and then Itagaki made my favorite character in DOA, Brad Wong, like the super cool and badass, like drunken master type character. Like, and he has super cool long hair and like facial hair. It's like, oh man, I could be like that. I could be like that if I was like a kung fu master. But I feel like I've met so many people throughout the years thanks to being a fan of Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden. Because you know why? Itagaki liked shit that was super cool. He loved games that were super difficult, games that had a lot of depth, games that challenged the player, took skill, and respected the player for putting time and dedication to it. And also, he really liked having women with huge titties. And I wouldn't be here I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for Itagaki's like influence, like big anime titties, big super badass ninjas, awesome action gameplay, 3D fighting like gameplay, all these crazy costumes and sexy girls, and it's like, dude, Ayane was there like when I was like super young and I was like getting into DOA for the first time, and I always thought Ayane was like the most beautiful character. She's always been my #1 favorite. That's probably why I like girls that have like pink, red eyes. I always kind of like red eyes. But man, Ayane's so cool, and I'm looking forward to the new figure that comes out. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself when I make some of these things. But yeah, and then yeah, I've met so many great people like on Twitter, some people on like on Discord, or even through YouTube. Like I've gotten so many great comments like in some of my DOA videos like that I did in the past, like my Izuna drop video. So many people coming in to appreciate and talk about how cool DOA is. Like, wow, I didn't know you could do that, or man, these stages are so dynamic and cool. It's like, yeah, like this game was doing crazy, awesome shit like way back in the day. Like I wish they were still doing that now, but that's just how things are. Things change. But there's also some other stuff I want to mention. Oh, and then of course there's people I know that, thanks to us all being, gentlemen of culture, we all come to appreciate the big titties and the sexy costumes, and as well as the great gameplay. Like, I've always had a personal beef with Itagaki in regards to Dead or Alive Extreme, where it's like, okay, I like Dead or Alive Extreme because I can be a pervert and just look at like the hot girls, but it's also like it kind of caused a problem with the reputation with DOA, where people were kind of making fun of it for being a sexy gooner type game or whatever people want to call it now. So it kind of like took attention away from the fighting game, or kind of hurt it. But I've always felt that the problem is that people couldn't accept both sides. Like DOA is a sexy game and a fighting game, so you could have both. But people were so focused on one or the other, and it's like no. Like I think both of them can both coexist. Like Dead or Alive Extreme is still going on because of Itagaki's influence. Like people like the girls that much that they're willing to pay thousands of dollars just to look at them in different outfits and to take dirty pictures of them. So it's like, yeah, that desire is still there. The DOA girls will always, they'll outlive us probably. Also, I think Itagaki was a real innovator when it came to like just being ahead of the curve. Like all the dynamic stages and everything in Dead or Alive, like the high octane like action and deep mechanics in Ninja Gaiden, and like approach to level design and enemy AI and difficulty, and adjusting like level environments and enemy encounters to be different, just like in old beat 'em ups. Like it wouldn't be exactly the same. It would be like stronger versions of enemies and stuff. Yeah. And then of course, the thing with the sexy girls, like dude was ahead of everybody. He had girls with big titties. He had them in all these sexy costumes. He made you grind in Dead or Alive 2, fucking survival mode, to earn those bikinis. If you weren't endlessly doing time trial mode or story mode or tag mode, tag arcade mode, and grinding your ass off to earn those costumes for Ayane, Kasumi, and everybody else. Oof, you're not getting those bikinis, bro. But if you did the DOA2 survival mode and then you unlocked everything, you would get everything all. If you unlocked all the stuff from survival mode, bam, you get every costume in the game automatically. And it's like, oh shit, and I get all the sexy bikinis and everything. And then of course, like I mentioned, DOA Extreme, like way ahead of everybody. He made a game based off his fighting game where people can just ogle the girls and look at them and have googly eyes. It's like, ooh, wow, and take pictures of their butts and everything. And it's like, dude, Korean fucking mobile games are doing this kind of shit now in the current time, in the 2020s. This motherfucker did that like 20 years ago. Like, where were you guys doing? Like, he was basically doing what a lot of anime was doing at the time, but like was putting it like up front in your face in the fighting game and in like the beach volleyball game. And it's like, oh, you could get away with that? Why don't we do that? But people shunned it for some reason. They're like, oh, yo, it's a gooner game, but what the fuck? I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? You guys don't like big titties? And now look, Street Fighter is selling you Chun-Li's ass cheeks in a tight swimsuit for like $5. Like, people were willing to pay the $5 for Chun-Li and with her ass out. And of course, like, Tekken is doing swimsuits. Like, I know Tekken had swimsuits before, but like now it's like they're selling you them as like a separate DLC. In Tekken 7, I remember they were just in the game, but in Tekken 8, they're like, oh, yo, buy the sexy bikini costumes, dude. Like, you guys like sexy bikini costumes? I'm like, Harada, isn't this like DOA? Like, you guys trying to be like DOA? What the fuck, dude? Like, everyone's making fun of DOA, but then like everyone's copying it. And of course, like all the fucking Korean and mobile gacha games, like they're just selling you less and less clothed women that have big ass titties and big butts and big ass titties. It's just like, so you guys are just copying DOA. Like, how much clothes can you take off the females? Like at that point, it's like, I feel like I've seen this before, and it's weird because I didn't like it because it wasn't socially acceptable before to be like, to be a quote unquote gooner type person where it's like, oh yeah, I'm all about big titties and shit. It's like, ugh, weirdo. And now it's like, oh no, but Marvel Rivals and Street Fighter and Chun-Li's ass cheeks. It's like, yo, you rubbed them ass cheeks on my face. And I'm like, wait, but DOA was already doing that. And I'm like, damn, Itagaki, you're so far ahead of the game, dude. But man, I'll never forget Itagaki. When this news broke out, I legit cried for about 2 hours because he and his games and his influence have been such a strong part of my life and such a long lasting thing. Like, I'm 28, like dude, like I've been playing these games since I was a child. Probably shouldn't have been playing DOA as a child with all those sexy anime girls, but it made me who I am. Like, I still love big titties and anime girls. I love games that challenge you, cool action games. I love ninjas. I love Ryu Hayabusa. He's still the fucking like best character ever made, the coolest character. And it's like, yeah, like even after all that time, his games still deeply influence me. And it doesn't matter what kind of animosity people have, or what negative things people want to say about him, or even how I feel about modern day Team Ninja and not even making Ninja Gaiden 4 themselves, like outsourcing it to Platinum and focusing on like Dark Souls style games. But no, I gotta put all of that aside for now, at the very least, because Itagaki's not here, and he was like the spirit of Team Ninja back in the day, up until like, you know, they changed everything around after 2008. But it's like, no, it's great. And the other thing that's great is that so many people have been leaving beautiful messages about both from fans and also from other game developers. Like Harada looked so sad and distraught that Itagaki had ended up leaving. It reminds me of everyone kept posting the Yu Yu Hakusho clip where Kurabara is angry at Yusuke because he ended up leaving before they could finish settling their beef, settling the business. And then so many other great game devs, like even Ed Boon from Mortal Kombat, like talking about how cool he was. So many great developers. Hideki Kamiya and Kojima have pictures of him and everything. And I think even if he didn't get to make his final game, which if you saw his final message, it was really sad because he said he had no regrets except for the fact that he didn't get to make one final game. And that just breaks my heart because I know that he could have bounced back and made an amazing game. He just needed, I knew he had a good, I'm pretty sure he had a good team. He just needed the right kind of budget and marketing and everything, but it's great to see people spreading their memories about Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive, how much everything means to them, and just spreading the love and sharing everything. To me, these games mean the absolute world to me. I would never replace these memories that I have for anything else. Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive are always going to be my favorites. Like, Ryo Hayabusa always will be my favorite video game character. Ayane will always be my favorite video game waifu. She was always number one. Like, and they made her look great in Ninja Gaiden 4, but I'm not gonna post a spoiler in case this goes up before NG4. But I just want to say that Itagaki changed my life. His games have had a huge influence on me, my tastes, my sense of self, my ability to do things. Like no, I'm just gonna do it. Just in the moment sort of things. Like, it's like a Ninja Gaiden where like you don't think about what's going on. You have to do things in the moment. You have to react to those attacks. You have to jump over those enemies. You need to take a second to breathe and use an item or change an info, or like you got to do everything in the moment. It's like life or death. Like every moment is a second away from like getting killed by an enemy ninja. It's like no, you always got to be ready. And I feel like that's a mentality that I need to take up. Always challenge yourself and always try to do things that you think you can't do, but if you apply yourself to it, you can discipline yourself and learn how to do things. And I really need to do that with studying Japanese because I've been slacking for so many years. But yeah, this is kind of a rant. The timing of this is just out of nowhere because I just really wanted to share this news about Itagaki, and hopefully I have some nice DOA or Ninja Gaiden gameplay in the background because I just want to give up my thoughts, and it still hurts. Yes, so the final thing I want to say is thank you for everything, Itagaki. Rest in peace. I hope your soul, goes up to the great beyond, and I hope that you understood that your fans care deeply about the work that you made. Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, even Devil's Third. Devil's Third, the real ones know about Devil's Third. But even if it was a janky, like kind of a messy game, but like it still had his soul and his heart kind of put into it. You could see the diamond in the rough there. But you may be gone, but your games will always live on in people's hearts, and the girls will never go away. Like the DOA girls will outlive all of us, I think. Even if that ends up being his lasting legacy, alongside his amazing games, he made those characters. He helped create Kasumi, Ayane, Tina, Lei Fang, Hitomi, Lisa, Christy, Helena, like all of these characters, like highly influential creator. And I don't think there will ever be anyone else who has that much aura, that much like hype, that much cool factor with the sunglasses and the fucking cigarettes and the badass like leather jackets and everything. The fucking katanas, he's holding katanas. Fucking madman. Like, oh yeah, this game, Mr. Itagaki, this game is too hard. What do we do? He's like, I'm gonna make the game more difficult. Like, okay. But there's so much I could say. It's just really hard to put everything into words. So I'm trying to just saying whatever I want. But Itagaki, you'll always be my favorite game creator. Ninja Gaiden will always be my #1 action game. Dead or Alive will always be my #1 fighting game, and both series in general are just the pinnacle of video games. For me, it's like I can't live without these games. Like I'd rather they be in my heart forever. I don't want to lose them. Sadly, we lost him, but the only thing I want to say is that the final thing I want to say is that please, please take the time to play his games. His games are life changing. Dead or Alive 2 and DOA3 for the original Xbox. Dead or Alive 2 Millennium on the Dreamcast. Dead or Alive Plus Plus, like for the arcade, you can emulate that. Dead or Alive 4, Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2. Truly unforgettable and amazing games. Like Ninja Gaiden 2 and DOA4 are kind of like a fucking magnum opus. Like same thing with DOA2. DOA2 Ultimate's a fucking magnum opus. Like we will not get quality that high ever again. Like nothing will ever surpass, I think, Ninja Gaiden 2 and like what Itagaki's done in his games. So rest easy, Itagaki. We'll miss you. I'm sad you didn't get to make that final game, but it's okay. I will play DOA and Ninja Gaiden until I'm no longer on this earth. You'll always be the true master ninja. Thank you for everything.